So, Chris, let's pivot to the Redskins as the draft kicks off tomorrow night. Put on your Ron Rivera hat, your Kyle Smith hat. You're fielding the calls. What is the package that another team could offer Chris Russell, the de facto GM of the Redskins right now, to move off the second pick and not take Chase Young?
Yeah, I'm trying to be good to my guy Kyle Smith here and Ron Rivera and say, look, they know too much about Chase Young to even really consider it, but I do think they will take Chase Young 98% of the time, or whatever that's worth. If they were to move down 5, 18, and 39 from the Dolphins, 2 firsts, and their high second would probably get me to move. And I would think about it. I would hesitate. I would wonder if I'm doing the right thing, but I'd probably do it. If you look at the trade chart, and I asked Daniel Jeremiah this last week, he was the one that, kind of cited the 5 and 18 combo. I've always been of the thought you have to get 2 of those first-round picks, 5 and 18, and then you have to get a sweetener elsewhere. And so the sweetener would be a major sweetener at 39. And, again, you'd be replacing your non-second-round pick or your lost second-round pick, plus getting the 2 top of the 3 first-round picks that Miami has. And I don't think Miami's going to be that desperate. I'd be surprised. I've heard that the Redskins had some interest for that number 2 pick even before this week. I don't know how serious the interest was because teams kind of officially set their board last week, and then they start to come up with all these wackadoo scenarios. So maybe it was late last week, whatever. The bottom line is I don't expect them to, but I do wonder if a team like Vegas, going into a new stadium, not necessarily in love with their quarterback, 3 first-round picks last year, scheduled to have 2 this year, 12 and 19, fellas. Yeah. I wrote this up last night. I wonder if a team like that might be desperate enough to move up to number 2 to get a Tua Tagovailoa. I wonder.
So Jeremiah told you that with Miami, 5 and 18 was
that equals the trade chart. Yeah,
that's equal to 2.
The 2,600 points on the old trade chart is 5 and 18 equals 2, and I need more than that. I don't know about you.
I need a lot
guys.
more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd probably be willing to do it for the package that I outlined, but I would, like you, Jason, I don't know if I would and I don't think Ron. And I'm going to get a chance to talk to him for the USAA thing next hour, so I'm going to ask him this, quite honestly. I don't think Ron would be motivated to move any further down than 5, and I don't even know if 5 and 18 would do it for him. I don't even know if 5, 18, and 39 would do it for him, although 5, 18, and 39 would be much more tempting if he was presented that. That's my guess.
Even if Vegas said, I'll give you 12 and 19 and next year's first rounder, I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that. That's a really good value,
I'm sure
but to go all the way down to 12, I don't see Ron doing that. And maybe I'm reading too much into what he said to us a couple of weeks ago, but it's true, right? At 12 and 19, you can get some really good players and you can fill multiple needs. And you mentioned the first rounder next year, and that could be, a pretty good pick, right? But at 12, you're not getting Isaiah Simmons. You're not getting Okudah. You're not getting Chase Young. You're not getting Joe Burrow, Tua. You're not getting probably 1 or 2 of the offensive linemen, whether it be Andrew Thomas and Mekhi Becton. You're not getting CeeDee Lamb probably. You're not getting all of those guys. So you have to weigh that when you talk about trying to get value for this year and also future years.
So, all right. So I don't think they're going to trade out of 2, but let's just move on to other possibilities to acquire more picks or players. So let's talk about Trent. I would assume Trent, I don't know if it's 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, whatever. I would assume he would be traded sometime during the draft.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen there? And then let's talk about a tight end. Now that Gronk is in Tampa, we talked about this last week, I think. with you. O.J. Howard
Yep.
is available. Cameron Brate now might be available. So let's talk about those two possibilities.
Yeah, so I'll start with the Bucks and Tampa and the tight ends, and you're right, and I think it'll be O.J. Howard. Now, there's a report out that they have to be blown away. Please, give me a break. I mean, you're not keeping O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski, and Cameron Brate, and I just – maybe I'm missing something here. I don't think they are keeping O.J. Howard over Cameron Brate, who scored all their touchdowns and who they gave a pretty decent contract to, unless we're talking about the salary cap here, which is a somewhat prohibitive thing for them. They only have about $13 million right now in cap space, and they still need to figure out an offensive tackle to complement Donovan Smith, who they paid a lot of money to. They could flip him to the right side, and I don't want to get too deep into the woods there. I think the Redskins are interested. I think the Redskins would need to probably swing another deal, i.e. Trent, or trading down potentially if they don't do the number 2 overall pick, which, again, we just discussed. I do think there's a possibility if they make that number 2 pick that they trade down at 66 in the third round, the second pick of the third round. Maybe you move down a couple of picks, 69, 70, somewhere in that range, not too far. You still feel a need wherever you want to go, corner, tight end, wide receiver, what have you, offensive tackle. But maybe you pick up a third, fourth-round pick or a second, fifth-round pick, and then that's how you try and attack the O.J. Howard situation, unless you've already picked up extra picks in a Trent Williams deal.
Right.
And I've heard, look, about Trent Williams, I've heard that his agent has finally dropped, or he and his agent have dropped their demands a little bit. Maybe willing to even pay without a long-term contract extension. And if something does not happen this weekend, I think Trent could be so frustrated that maybe he adds back a veteran agent, that type of thing, which is how he entered the league, because there's a lot of mistrust at this point around the NFL, from what I've been told, for his current agent in terms of getting this deal done, which they've had full authority to do for over a month now.